Hey everybody, welcome back to the Couch channel. This is not episode 2. This is very important actually though. Well, first of all, we did get enough honor, so I want to go back to the fortress and increase a lane size unit. We should be able to deploy all characters. Yeah, expand all units. These guys are still okay. I'm going to increase his, and I'm going to go ahead and put... Oh. I'm going to go ahead. We have just Joseph remaining. He does not have a little thing. He's a massive tank, but that's not what I want to do today because we'll go back up here. We've got a lot of people we're going to talk to in our next episode, but for right now, I want to explain a couple things about how this game works. Because as you can see, we have already... Oh, Scarlet's listed as abducted. You have a lot of different stuff. So let's just look at a lane, for example. Because this game, some people have been comparing it to Fire Emblem and Ogre Battle, and those aren't terrible comparisons. But let's go over the differences in units. Because first of all, unlike Fire Emblem, there's one major difference. Now, when we look at a lane's stats, we see at the very top it says Growth Type 1, Growth Type 2. Both of them are listed as all-rounder, and I can just toggle what, his character art. So we see he's got HP, attack and defend physically, attack and defend magically, his accuracy, his invasion, his chance to crit, his chance to guard, and his initiative. Now, looking to the right of those numbers, we see that they all have letter grades. Now, Elaine has a guard rate of A, which is the best, so that has the highest chance of going up. But however, the rest of it is not bad. He has B's and C's and everything else. He's going to be a pretty decent all-rounder, which makes sense because those are his growth types. This is the most important part of this game. This game is not Fire Emblem. I want to say that again. This game is not Fire Emblem. You cannot save the game before you level up and then save scum until you get a level up that you wanted. It is predetermined by the class and the 2 growth types assigned to that character. Chloe right now is a level 5 soldier. Even if I get a generic level 5 soldier, if she has the same growth types of Guardian and Lucky, and I raise the next soldier to level 5, their stats will be the exact same as Chloe, even though Chloe is a named character. It does not matter in this game. This game is less about building awesome high stat characters and more about unit formations, tactics, and equipment. Now that's good because if you want to build certain units, you can just use generics to help you even out. There's no problem or shame with that. So that's very helpful. Looking at Lex, we can see that his guard rate as a fighter is at the top left, by the way, is S. However, he has some D's and E's, unfortunately. So basically, Elaine is a very improved fighter. He can still guard, but he has different skills. Joseph, meanwhile, is level 20. We can see he has magic defense in S. It's making all sparkles. But everything else is pretty much B's and C's, except his evasion is 14. He's not going to dodge a lot. And his crit rate is 8. He's not going to crit a lot. We can also see that he's level 20 compared to everybody else. So why did I put him in a unit? Because I probably should have put him in the other unit, actually, now that I think about it. That's unfortunate. But whatever. We can easily get another person and switch them out pretty quick. Forgot to mute my phone. Don't worry about that. So here's the thing about him. Even though he's level 20, he does not steal XP like in Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem fights are one-on-one. But in this game, everybody gets to have experience from fights and killing and taking out units. So it's actually helpful to stick Joseph in to low level units and have him shepherd them and heal. Now when we go to loadout, everyone has a weapon, and then you have an armor or a shield slot, and you have an accessory slot. We see the bronze sword with an attack of 8. Nothing special about that. We see the bronze shield. It's got extra guard efficiency. Gives him another % on his guard rate of 15 and gives him 3 more to physical defense. And we have the Ring of the Unicorn, the MacGuffin of this game most likely, which gives you 5 points more on your max HP and a guard rate of another 10%. Very useful. I can change this stuff, and I should probably be making sure that people are equipping accessories that give them additional skills to use in battle, or that increase the stats that they're best at. So we see he's got 1 attack, which is lean edge. Now, physical potency and magical potency tell us how good the hit is. At 100 physical potency, I'm going to do all of my 20 physical damage. If I had 100 magical potency, I would do all of my 12 magical damage. If the number is higher or lower, it's fine. Hit count is 1. Hit rate, 100%. It's a very accurate attack. Noble Guard is our passive skill. Says before we get hit, we block an enemy attack. We get an extra 20% to our defense. And if we're low HP, we get more PP. So we'll keep guarding as they wear us down, which is very good. Over here, you have Warding Slash and Arrow Cover. See, the Arrow Cover, Elaine's stuff had no traits. But Lex's Arrow Cover skill does. It's limited. And it tells you, activates before you're hit by a ranged physical attack. You cannot use this to block you can't use this to block magic. You can't use this to block melee for other people. Over here we have both Smash and Crush. Crush is unguardable and inflicts stun, which as we see makes characters go further down the line in initiative. But how does he have that? Because he has this crushing axe, we can see that it gives you the skill Crush, which you can then add into your tactics. When I take this axe off, which I shouldn't, it's plus 13 physical damage. But if I were to take this axe off, Auburn does not get Crush anymore. He only has Smash from his class skills. Which, by the way, here are all your class skills. Your actives, your passives, and your valors. We can also see here's Travis's stuff. He's got a bronze sword and a silken scarf, but he has passive skill. See, physical potency 50, so he's only going to deal half damage, but hit count is 2. So he will still do all damage, but he's doing it in 2 hits instead of 1. And remember, he doesn't get to steal the PP if they guard the first hit. So why would you care about that? Why would you do that? Because if he can hit twice, he can crit on each hit and do extra damage. Multi-hit skills have lower physical and magical potency, but they have every hit, just like you saw even the heals in this game, can crit. Moving on to Clive, we see that he has a bronze spear. But I just bought this unwavering spear, which is 12 physical attack to his 8, but also gives us True Thrust. And it prioritizes scouts. Scouts are people like Travis, as you've seen, they're very dodgy, and this is going to really, really help Clive be able to hit them. Going to our tactics, we can see that we have 2 active abilities for our AP. We have True Thrust, which is prioritizing a scout. And we have Assaulting Lance, which is lowest HP, which I programmed. Assaulting Lance will give me an extra AP every time I kill somebody, but True Thrust will let me go through the dodgy guys in the front, so I'm going to need True Thrust to go off. So it's priority 1. If there's no scout to hit that Clive can reach on the battlefield, or present, he's just going to use his Assaulting Thrust, and that's what we want him to do. Here we have, Joseph. He's going to heal himself or anybody who has 75% or less of their hit points. If there's somebody who's not a little bit banged up, he's going to slice at the lowest HP, and then he has his Holy Guard, his Barrier, and his Pursuit. Pursuit is only physical potency 75, so it's not as good as Slice. But if I defeat the enemy with Slice, I get more PP, which allows me to pursue more, so it's still really good. And then here we have passive skill and evade. Here we have Sting, which attacks a single enemy, but if Hodrick is lower than 50%, his potency is 150% of his hit, so he will hit harder if he's lower. Heavy cover, which will prioritize the back row because he's defending people. Here we have, now you saw me make a mistake in our first episode. I had put long thrust up, but I put the condition you can only use long thrust if you have a column, 2 people front and back. When there wasn't 2 people front and back, Chloe had nothing to do, which is why I put a second long thrust in with no conditions. If she cannot hit 2 people, she will hit 1 person. The game is meant to be taught. And then of course, you know, I want my waifu back because right now she's my only offensive caster, so I don't know when I'm going to get her back. And there's no reason not to do quick heal at all because she didn't have anything other than quick heal she could do with her PP. And then here we have Parting Blow, 75% potency, but at the end of a battle, I'm going to hit. Now there is one other thing that's very important. I don't think we have anything, but there are skills that say activate at the beginning of a battle. You can only have one of those on your side. Only one person's going to activate their skill at the beginning of a battle. And then we have our skills, and we can also see that Elaine at level 10 is going to gain Cavalry Slayer, which will knock off their AP and PP and Guard Seal so they cannot block if the attacker is a cavalry. So that's going to be really useful. At level 5, he'll gain Luminous Cover, which will allow him to pretty much Noble Guard an ally, but he will not get additional PP no matter how low his HP is. And then we have Valorous Order and Royal Order. Royal Order, as we saw, should try to use it against bosses whenever possible. It's a lot. Lex has Warding Slash, which is alright, but he's so slow. You probably want him to use Shield Bash, which will inflict stun. But again, he's slow. You also have Arrow Cover and Quick Guard to help him defend the back. Oops. And here are your details, actually. You can see excellent physical defense, protects from long-range attacks, ineffective versus anti-armor and magic. This is just really nice to let him... That's really nice to just let him. And we see Yosef is a paladin, Holy Knight of the Coronian royal family, effective against infantry units. So anyone, if you look up at the top left, you can see like some of them have symbols. He's got boots, she's got boots, he's got boots. He's got boots and armor. He's got a little horsey. Infantry is it'll tell you down here. It's like double physical defense against infantry. And that he has swords, shields, and he's cavalry. He's got mobility of 300, his stamina, his type. His leader effect, when they use magical assist, we take less damage. Some units can provide assistance and attack at the beginning of a battle. We'll get to it later. But right now we can see he's got almost everything, but at level 30, he gets the Divine Cross ability, which is 2 points to use. True hit, so it cannot be dodged. Physical and magical potency each of 50, so I would do half my physical damage, half my magical damage. Attack a single enemy, remove all of their buffs, and grant the user an additional PP if I defeat the target. That's impressive. Chloe has her long thrust and her first aid, as we've seen. But she also gets Javelin, which is attack a single enemy. It's a ranged attack. If it says ranged, I can use that against anybody on the field. I don't have to go through their front line, so it's useful to help pick off like casters and weak people, as you might have remembered from the beginning. I also get an extra, it's going to do 150% of my damage if I hit a flying unit, so that's really good. And then my passive skill at 15 is going to be King Call, which will grant 100% crit rate for an ally's next attack. That is amazing. Meanwhile, we have Hodrick. He has Sting, which is just, you know, that's it. That's all he gets. He has Heavy Cover, which will allow him to cover an ally. And he has Guardian. Activates after I get hit by a physical attack, which means I get extra physical attack defense. Oh, no, I get extra... Oh, the effect stacks. Damn. I get extra attack and an extra guard rate. So I get really mad when you hit me. So I have True Thrust on Clive for his spear. And I've got Assaulting Lance, which will tear through enemies, as we've seen. I will gain Wild Rush at 10. Attacks a column of enemies with a piercing strike and can inflict stun. And at 80% potency means that if I hit 2 people with it, I'm doing 160% damage. I also have Quick Guard to help me defend, and I have Cavalier Car, which means that if I have multiple horses in the row, everybody gets 20% attack, and the effect will stack. Travis has Passive Steel. He also has Toxic Throw, which, as we've seen, attack a single enemy, but I take all their PP, which allows me to just evade everything, because I have to expend it, but I auto dodge. Now, that true trait on Clive's Spear negates any defensive skills you have that allow you to evade. You will guaranteed hits. At level 10, he'll gain Toxic Throw. Attack a single enemy, inflicts poison. It's a ranged, so it's pretty good. I'm only going to do 50% damage, but that's not the point of it. And then Auburn, as we've seen, Crush, he's going to gain Rolling Axe, which is only 40% potency, but attacks a row of enemies and lowers their defense. So if you've got 3 people in a row, you want to use this. And he also has a Frenzy Strike, half his damage at level 15, but will counterattack an enemy and lower their defense. So he can just, like, bash people all the time. And yeah, that is pretty good in it. We're going to want to get a 3rd person in here, and then we need to start unlocking these other guys, man. You can deploy a lot. I believe maximum unit size is 5. I don't know why it can't be 6, because I think that would be cooler, but, you know, whatever. You can also see that Yosef has made these guys more mobile than these guys now, because he's 300 is bringing them all up. Just like these guys are at 231. And yeah, that's just a little how characters work in this game. A little quick episode, guys. You will have episode 2 very soon. Thank you so much for watching. If there's something that you did not understand or that you would like, leave it in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.